All right, we are going to go through all of the codes at the bottom here. So tell you what everything does. So let's start with how they work. So the color category tells you which ones are at the right. So if I tap on the yellow, it brings up all the yellow codes. If I want a code in my workspace, I just drag it down to my workspace. If I want to bring it back up, I can just drag it back up. Also, let's see, they click together. Let me give you an example. Drag them together like a Lego piece and they click together. When you do have them click together, let's do some more here. Click, click, and we'll do that one. And a repeat at the end. Okay, so when you have them all click together, to move the whole string, you're going to touch the first code. You can drag it around. To break something off the string, you can touch where you want to break it and then drag it off the string. So just a little bit of handling instructions. Let's start with the yellow codes. So right now I am controlling this sprite. It shows me who I'm controlling by putting the image of the sprite down here. So let's say I'm going to start with, well, let's just go through what all these do. Green means start the game on the green flag. So when you touch this, start whatever this green flag is telling you to do. This one here means when I tap on the sprite, do something. This one means when the sprite touches another sprite. I want to clarify that you cannot specify which sprite it touches. So you have to be a little bit careful with this one, because if you're dealing with multiple sprites, it will trigger this when it touches any other sprite. Unlike Octo Studio or Scratch 3.0, where you can specify the sprite it touches. The next one is a message code. This is send a message. This one is when I receive the message. So this is telling somebody to do something. This is listening for the instructions, and they are color coordinated. So you have 6 options of sending color coordinated messages. They will only work if they match the message. So if I send an orange message, but then I'm looking for a red message, I will not obey the orange message. So make sure these match each other. I tend to tell my students to start in color order. So if they have a game that's got multiple messages, make your first one orange, your second one red, your third one yellow, and so on and so forth, so that they don't get confused. All right, so these are all event codes, which sort of start strings, except for receive one is not like starting something, but similar category. Now let's go to blue. Blue are all of our movement codes. So up, down, left, right are all movement arrows. To show you how far they move, let's bring the grid up. So you can change any of these numbers. So this would be move 1 to the right. If you tap down here, you can change this, and you can also put a negative number in as well. So the grid sort of tells you how many spaces. If you go further than space allows, it will pop out on the other side. So if I had it at 10 and I said move forward 15, you'll see that it will go through the other side and come out back to number 5. So keep that in mind. Next, we've got the rotate code. Think of these as a clock. Okay. 3 brings you to 3 o'clock. All right. And then if I change this to 12, it would bring me 12 more around. So consider that. You might want to make sure your students know how a clock works before using those codes. That is quite helpful. This is a jump code. So you say jump. It says how high, 2. Let's change it to 7. Also, if you jump above the top of the screen, just like the movement code, you'll pop out the bottom. So keep that in mind as well. And this one means go back to my starting position. So wherever you start the game, it will bring you back to it with that code if you put it in your code sequence. All right, moving on to I don't know what we would call these. The purple codes are sounds or sizes. So we have the thought bubble code. Not used as often here because of our students can't spell yet while they're using this app, but this will put a thought bubble or speech bubble above your character. These are grow codes. So this makes your character larger or smaller or brings it back to the original size. I will also point out that you don't have to do these inside of strings to have them change. So let's say your sprite is really large and you want it smaller at the start of your game. You can just bring these in and shrink your sprite and then get rid of the code, and this will be the size that your sprite starts the game with. So I'll bring it back in. So you can modify your sprite size prior to starting any code with these. And then you've got the hide code and the appear code. Same deal with those. If I want to hide my sprite at the start of my game and then have it appear later, I could just do that, and it's hidden at the beginning. Still there, but I can't see it. And let's bring it back. Or you can do these inside your code sequences for your game. Next are your sound codes. So if you don't see the microphone, that means you have the microphone disabled in settings. So go back to the settings on your iPad and turn on the microphone permissions for this app. So you get a generic sound effect. Pop is like the only thing you get. Or you can make your own sound effect. So if I tap on this, I can make a sound effect by tapping the red button, and then it will record, and then I hit the check mark in order to save that recording. These sound effects carry on. They do not carry on across sprites. So what that means, if I make a sound effect for my cat and then I go to my tree, there will not be a sound effect for my tree. So they're specific to the sprites. So you've got to make multiple ones across sprites if you're building a game like that. Next, let's go to basically your loops and other delay commands. So you've got a delay code here. 10 refers to milliseconds. So this is 1 second. Okay, 100 would be 10 seconds, so on and so forth. Then you've got the stop command. So stop a line of code with this command. Then you've got a speed command. These ones are really helpful. Here, if you touch the drop down, you get 3 choices: slow, regular, or fast. So you can adjust the speed of your sprite, the speed at which they move or they jump or whatever it might be. Then you've got a loop. You can specify how many times you want it to loop here. And then lastly, in the red code, you have got a stop this line of code. You've got a repeat forever. So this is your forever loop. You can just drop at the end of a line of code if you want to do a forever repeat. And then you've got your go to a different background. If you don't have a different background, this will not appear. So if you're looking for this code, it's because you did not create a second background. So those are all of the code commands for Scratch Junior. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.